What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today we are on test server today, and we will be talking about the brand new champions that's going to be showing up along with the fusion that's coming on Monday. So let's jump right into it. All right, guys. So there's going to be 6 brand new champions coming into the game on Monday. Let's start off first with the mythical champion. It's going to be a brand new dwarf, Forad Wolfheart. Super cool aesthetics here. Basically some kind of wolfman dwarf carrying some kind of totem on his back, but he looks like a rugged woodsman, doesn't he? Anyways, he's a, what is it? He's a mythical support champion. It's going to be spirit to start off. Obviously, pretty crazy support base stats here. Let's check out his kit real quick. A1, double hit, has a 50% chance of placing a freeze debuff for 1 turn. So double hit, that's 75% chance of placing freeze. If the target is not under freeze debuff, we'll repeat the attack once. So repeat the attack. So I imagine it's a 3-hitter. So it's a 3-hitter if he misses the double freezes in the beginning. So yeah, it's a pretty high chance to freeze on the A1. A2 here, we got a 3-turn cooldown, places block, debuffs, and increase speed on all allies, decrease the cooldown of all allies skills except this champion's by 1 turn. Wow, that's pretty wild. On a 3-turn cooldown, block debuffs, increase speed, and a cooldown reduction of 1 on a 3-turn cooldown. That is nuts. That is nutso bananas. All right, A3, attack all enemies. 4-turn cooldown when fully booked. Places a freeze on all enemies for 1 turn. 30% decrease speed debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. So decrease speed and freeze. Oh man, that's wild. If an enemy is from the Galen pack, so that's the top banners like High Elves, Sacred Order, Banner Lords, Barbarians, place a freeze debuff on them for 2 turns instead. Okay, small upside here. Grant an extra turn. Okay, 4-turn cooldown, grants an extra turn. Okay, so it grants an extra turn, and then what? I assume you're going to transform and do something crazy. Let's do passive. Whenever this champion receives a debuff from an enemy, it has a 30% chance of placing freeze on the enemy for 1 turn. Occurs once per turn. This chance increases to 100% if the target is from the Galen pack. Nice. Okay, so pretty nasty. I mean, pretty good. It's good. It's like solid kit. Especially this one here. You can find a lot of uses. Obviously in many areas of the game. Let's transform him and see what he can do in likely his attack form. So he's an HP based damage dealer. Really crazy defense for an HP based damage dealer, I guess. A1, attack 1 enemy. If this attack kills an enemy, resets the cooldown of 1 of this champion's random skills. Okay. A2, AoE, places an extra hit on enemies under freeze or any of these hard CCs on a 3-turn cooldown. Each hit decreases each target's max HP by 25% of the damage inflicted, stacks up to 50%. Each hit also decreases each target's turn meter by 25%. This effect cannot be resisted if they're already under hard CC. That is pretty nasty. I mean, 1 hit, extra hit, and then turn meter drop. Each hit also, that means it's going to be 2 of these, 2 turn meter drops. That's pretty nasty. I mean, you're basically done. First of all, you're hard CC'd, and then you're getting slammed twice with the double turn meter drop. I mean, you're basically done. I don't know how you can survive that. Is A3, 3-turn cooldown when fully booked. Attack single target. Ignore 50% of the target's defense. If the target is under freeze, ignore 100% of the target's defense. If the target is killed while under freeze, also plays block 5. 3-turn cooldown. Yeah, I mean, freeze will mitigate some of the damage, but after 100% ignore defense, it's pretty much lights out. Passive counterattacks with Rhyme Cleave skill whenever an enemy increases the cooldown of any of this champion's skills. Where's Rhyme Cleave? Oh, the A1. Okay, if this attacks, okay, so he has a chance to reset one of his skills if someone tries to lock him out. So that means his skills will be locked out, but then his A1, if it kills somebody, can basically reduce that. I mean, he has some pretty crazy abilities, right? Like, this one's going to be pretty hard. I mean, this one's going to be really hard to deal with. Basically lights out, right? But yeah, he looks like a pretty cool, damage-based champion. I'm not too sure how crazy he can be. He doesn't have any abilities to go through like Stone Skin or anything, but he does have a big ignore defense attack here. His base form also looks decent. decent, but not insane, I would say. Decent, but not insane. But could be pretty annoying, right? Like, could be pretty annoying. It's hard to control this guy because he's going to control you back a little bit. But yeah, it looks a little bit, looks okay. As far as mythicals go, I mean. Anyways, let's check out the other champions here. We have Admiral Black Tusk. So this champion was teased a little bit earlier than the rest. It's going to be the faction Unity champion from the Dwarves faction here. You got a single target hit. Has chance to place stun, cannot be resisted if it's attacking out of its active turn. So if it's like counter-attacking or ally attacking. 6 turn cooldown down to 3 turns. Cleanse all allies. Then an ally attacks a single enemy. That's really nice, actually. A 3-turn cleanse with a ally attack. Full team. That is probably the best ally attack in the game, I think. That's really, really insane. That's really insane. Too insane. Too insane, actually. His A3. Another cleanse. Remove all buffs. Oh, okay. Remove all buffs from an enemy. Then places a stun. On one enemy, it's a 3-turn cooldown, fills this champion's turn meter by 50%, fills this champion's turn meter by additional 10 for each buff removed. Okay, so he's going to stun one enemy. It's going to be strip and stun one enemy. Faction unit ally. Buff removal and stun cannot be resisted. That's pretty big. Resets cooldown to skill when an enemy is killed while under stun. Okay. Allies deal double damage to targets under stun debuffs placed by this champion. Okay, that's a little bit harder to do. Placed by this champion. And this only stuns one enemy. Okay, passive. Allies will counterattack whenever they lose 10% or more of their max HP from a single hit. Okay, so that means all the time. There are multiple champions on the team with one skill, only one activates. Whenever an ally places, blah, 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 blah. Hard CC fills this champion's turn meter by 20%. Whenever an ally places. Okay. Occurs once per skill. Okay. Whenever an ally is attacked, has a 50% chance of placing 50% decrease resistance and decrease speed on the attack for 1 turn. If the ally is under block damage, unkillable ally protection stone skin, the chance increased to 100%. So it has a 100% chance of placing decreased resistance, decreased speed if you're attacked. Okay. At the start of each turn, place a stone skin buff on all allies for 1 turn. What? At the start of each round. Okay, so in Arena, you basically start with Stone Skin, your whole team, for 1 turn. That is wild. That is pretty wild. That is pretty wild. That gives a lot of build flexibility. It's kind of cool. It's cool. It gives a team-wide build flexibility. I don't think his kit's that crazy. I'm not too sold on everything here. Like, stun placed by him, it's kind of like he has A1 stun. Like he has an A1 stun. He can stun with this, and it's it's irresistible when he attacks with ally attack or counterattack. So he has a chance to stun guys if he takes, attack turns or whatever, right? And then your champions can deal double damage. It's hard to set up, but this is pretty interesting, right? Your whole team gets this build flexibility, which is pretty nice. I don't know. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure about this guy. All right, let's quickly move on here. Let me know what you guys think about the new Admiral here. We had a couple days to digest his kit. We got Esme the Dancer, so we got the Fusion. We got the Fusion here. She looks pretty swell. Good kit. Have a look out for her playtest. Did some playtesting with her. She seems very, very solid. Also, in that same playtest, we have Modo, her kind of partner, Valentine's Day partner, Quasimodo, in that video as well. Check them out as well. Cool partnership, but they're not going to be game-breaking meta champion couple, right? They're going to be helpful, but not game-breaking or anything like that. And then after that, we have another champion here from Demon Spawns. We have Chalco the Blind. Chalco the Blind. Look at this. I love the aesthetic on this guy. Like, what is this? Some kind of crazy little demon fiend, like minion person. He's so crazy. I have no idea what he does, so let's take a look at his kit. He's attack base. He has decent attack. Yeah, he's got the boosted crit damage here. Check out his kit. A1, double hit. Each hit will ignore 10% of the target's defense. We'll ignore an additional 5% for each debuff. Also steals 10% of the target's tournament. Wow, that's pretty big. This is an A1. has a 50% chance of repeating the attack against another target, except the initial target, who is under 2 or more debuffs, occurs once per attack. So 50% chance of happening. This is a pretty strong A1, I gotta say. It already ignores defense. It's a little bit, it's just a little bit, but it ignores defense. It's a double hit, and it steals turn meter, and has a chance to repeat. Of course, it needs some setup here, but it's a pretty strong A1, to be honest, so not too bad. Good to see. Let's see his A2 here. 4-turn cooldown when fully booked. Double hit, single target. First hit places block passive skills. Not many champions can do this. And then a 60% decrease defense. So block passive first. That's actually pretty nice. Shuts down a champion's passive and then places decreased defense. Second hit applies debuff spread, taking all debuffs from the target, placing them on all enemies. The debuff spread will work even if the initial target is killed. Grants an extra turn if this attack kills an enemy. Oh my, that is nice. Block passive and then decrease defense and then a spread. Interesting. That is very interesting. 4-turn cooldown though, very interesting. I like this. I think that's pretty strong. A3, 3-turn cooldown, AoE. Before attacking, places increased accuracy on this champion, decrease the duration of all enemy buffs by 2 turns, and places a decreased speed on all enemies for 2 turns. Interesting. So, I mean, it has the potential to basically, decrease the duration for like Stone Skin, for... Yeah, I mean, this could be very strong. This could be really strong. Decreased speed here as well. It's an AoE attack, so it does do something, and it boosts accuracy, and he needs accuracy for these debuffs. Okay. Passive, champion is immune to hard CC, that's nice. Whenever an enemy attempts to place one of these debuffs on this champion, instantly activates Inducer of Panic. Which is that? It's the A2. Instantly attacks. So that means when he gets hard CC'd, he'll use this ability. So he'll hit somebody, and then he'll place this. The debuff spread, block passive debuff spread. Instantly activates against that enemy. Doesn't set on cooldown. Increases damage dealt by 5% for each debuff placed by this champion or an ally. Okay, the damage increase resets each time a skill is used on this champion's turn. Oh, I see. So you can stack up the debuffs again. It's similar to He-Man. He-Man basically goes the opposite, where He-Man stacks up buffs and then resets when he uses the ability. So for him, he can stack up debuffs to boost up his damage. And then each time a skill is used, increases. Yeah, so damage increase resets each time a skill is used. So it could be his A1. Like he could use the stacks on his A1. Hard to say which one's like his strongest attack, right? He doesn't seem like a full-blown damage dealer. More like, I mean, he could have been just a support champion, but he's probably like a threat, similar to like maybe like Carnage. Carnage applies some pretty good debuffs, but he also deals some good damage too. So, Calco, I mean, interesting champion. I love his aesthetics. I'm not too sold on everything, but he is interesting. Accuracy in all battles. Yeah, base stats good enough for a damage dealer. But let's see what happens. He seems interesting for sure. Finally, the last champion here, Arashi the Riptide from the Shadowkins. Arashi the Riptide. He is right here, Arashi. All right. Check this guy out. Almost 24k HP. He is an HP-based damage dealer. He's got the crit damage here. He's got arena speed and all. Arena speed, that's a big one. Nice, I like it. 28%. A1 double hit. Each hit has a 75% chance of stealing one random buff. This effect cannot be resisted if this champion is under Veil or Perfect Veil. That's great. So if things cannot be resisted, that means there's a chance that you don't build him out with accuracy. Hopefully he can Veil himself. Oh, unfortunately, you need the buffs here. Well, that kind of sucks though, right? Like if you're planning to use them without accuracy and then waste the books here, it is what it is. His A2... 5 turn down to 3 turns, 20% damage from books. Single target, single enemy hit. Ignore 25% of the target's defense as well as shield and strengthen. Will also ignore Stone Skin if this champion is under Veil. Okay, big synergy here with Veil. If this attack kills an enemy, increases the duration of all buffs on this champion one turn. Okay, not super significant. This on-kill effect is not super significant, but it's probably to synergize with the Veil, to keep the Veil on him longer if he kills somebody. But it's kind of nice that he can ignore Stone Skin here. A3. Attacks all enemies. Before attacking, places Perfect Veil. Here we go. Perfect Veil and crit damage boost. This attack deals single target damage to each target individually rather than AoE. Will ignore 15% of the enemy's defense after hitting the first enemy. Will hit every other enemy. Okay, so you target one and then you hit every other enemy. Following the initial hit, each subsequent hit ignores 5% more of the target's defense. So first you start with 15 and then you go all the way up to 35. I wonder how the order of attacks go. Is it random? It must be random. So you pick the first target and then after that it's random. So, so you probably want to hit the first target. You want to hit like the weakest target because you're using the lowest ignore defense. And after that, your ignore defense will increase. It's actually an interesting mechanic, a little bit of RNG involved. For each enemy killed by this attack, increase this champion's HP by 5%, stacks up 30%. Yeah, you definitely want to kill the weakest target first. So once you kill that, your damage increases and then your ignore defense also increases on each hit. 4-turn cooldown. A little bit interesting. It's like a little bit interesting ability. I would like to see this in action. But this champion looks kind of interesting right now. Passive effect. At the start of each round, place a Perfect Veil on this champion 1 turn. Passive effect. Okay, it has a 20% chance to reflect all damage and debuffs this champion receives back to the attacker. Passive. This just happens. So this 20% reflect just happens. This debuff reflect just happens. That's great. Wait, has 20%. Does this mean that at the start of each round, this happens? Or does this always happen? I'm not too sure. The way it reads, I'm not too sure. But it just reads Perfect Veil for 1 turn. He starts with Veil in Arena, for example. Active effect. If the reflected damage kills an enemy, fills this champion's turn by 30%, places Perfect Veil on this champion. Okay, so now I think that this reflect damage ability is just always on. It's just always on. Which is pretty good. I mean, it has a chance to reflect debuffs and reflect damage. And if it kills somebody, then he gets Perfect Veil. That's not bad. But he does have ability to place Perfect Veil on himself. So he's probably going to open with this, and then he can do all sorts of crazy stuff. So you can open with this, and then do this. The problem is, if you open with this, and then you start attacking guys, you're probably not going to kill anybody, because most people will probably be in Stone Skin. So you ideally need to have, but you're gonna open with Perfect Veil, and then you can do this, kill somebody with Stone Skin, and then come back in with Veil, and then your A1 could work. Yeah, I mean, this champion looks pretty good. I don't know, I like it. The kit synergizes really well. Let's see what the obviously a multiplier is gonna be the big difference maker here. I love this being all auras, arena battle aura. Really important for damage dealers nowadays. This guy looks like the Shredder, actually. Look at his arms. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. They're gonna showcase a couple of these champions just to get us a little teaser here. But yeah, some of them look pretty interesting. I'm actually really interested in Arashi here, actually, of all of them. Aesthetically, obviously, the Demon Spawn is the craziest looking one. Chalco, yeah, he's pretty nutty looking. Kind of looks like, like off the Stranger Things, that monster from Stranger Things. Come on, guys, you guys gotta know what I'm talking about here. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think about the new champions being introduced here in this video. And yeah, thanks for watching. I appreciate your time as always, and I'll see you guys in the next one.